Where do I see hip hop going? I see it getting back to what it used to be like when we first got on. I think people want that right now. There's a need for that right now. There's a lack of love for the game. You know what I mean? And if you don't love the game, then how can you even hear, how can we hear any type of quality?
Memorable Phife Dawg moment when he said, "Thank you for putting me on Buddy." That's the first record he ever rhymed on. You know, he didn't have a shot until that record. I was like, wow, that was kind of touching because everybody remembers their first record.
You know, Q-Tip, he's, you know, very particular with music and things like that. So for him to look to his right and have Phife Dawg there was like, I can believe like some kind of assurance, like, yo, I got my man and he's gonna hold me. Like he's gonna hold me down. Like, yo, you on point? Yeah, I'm on point.
To me, Phife Dawg, he was the most relatable out of the group. He was the dude that, you know, had the most memorable lyrics, you know, the one-liners, the catchphrases, more street. You know, the average dude that may not have gotten too much into the abstractness of Q-Tip could relate to a Phife. The regular working class, everyday cat who just loved good hip hop records. Kind of made the group more accessible.
Phife was the first person, you know what I'm saying, I kind of connected with on a major label type of thing as an artist on the Family Tree Tour that really like checked my beats out. I was like, man, you know, like you really dope. Every time we called Phife, you know what I'm saying, and we needed his help with something, you know what I'm saying, he was always there.
At that time, Souls and Hyro, cats was on like, you know, we the best and we're the lyrical kings and you got to be able to freestyle and do all this. You know, there was peers that people, you know, we would put on that level, but Phife certainly wasn't one of them that would come to my mind, you know? And so we get on the tour with them and we would go to the after parties, right? And of course they would rip during the show, but that's the songs, you know what I mean? And then I realized every night he'd go and he would rip it there, like get the big crowd response. That was a time when I was really like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? Like he really is an MC and he can really kill it. Again, we were on some like, yo, we the best lyrical shit. And every party he was ripping it more than us because he just had the memorable lines. Some of the guys from Souls would be on there and they would be like lyrically killing it, but the crowd would be like, eh, okay, you know what I mean?
One thing I always loved about Phife, he always be down to freestyle, you know what I'm saying? Like he always be down to just kick something. Damn near every time I was with him, he'd be like, let's bust something. Like he'd just start. I always admired that about him because so many rappers, they too scared to really rap. And he was tight. Like he was tight off the dome. That gave me like a new little respect for him. It went up a notch with me.